Bronc Bros podcast with Adam Ramirez and Sean Flanagan.
Hello, Bronc Bros and Bronc Sister. No, it doesn't work. Bronc Bros and Sisters. Welcome to the Bronc Bros podcast. This is episode, well, I don't know, Sean, but we've done a few now. And this is a happy episode. I am your host, but I am not Mile High Mez anymore, Sean. I changed my handle and forgot to change it on the thingamabob
one
here.
thing at a time, man. One thing at a time.
One step at a time, literally right now for me. My handle is in progress. It's a work in progress. So just follow me somehow. If it's meant to be, it'll be, right, Sean? I think that's
destiny.
I think that's what we're rolling with. Everyone, thank you for following us at Bronc Bros _ on Instagram. You can find us at Bronc Bros on YouTube. Listen to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, which of course we all know, Sean, that this is the number one favorite podcast.
Get in here, man. Come on. Let's go.
Of every Bronco fan on the planet. Sean, how have you been? How was your week besides the Broncos before we get into it?
Good, man. Yeah, I mean, it's we're full-blown football season, man. You kids, Broncos, I'm football all day, every day, man. So it's good for me. What about you?
Good. Yeah, no, I had a stress-free weekend because Georgia didn't play, number one. So my blood pressure on Saturday was just fine. And now that the Mariners, it's been a week, I'm still, you can't say the word Blue Jay in front of me because I will throw up, but I'm getting better. And those games were just extremely stressful, Sean. Extremely stressful.
I know. I'm a Broncos fan. I know how stressful it is.
Yeah. So a good segue, right, into how stress-free of a day was it yesterday? And how awesome was it to not have our blood pressure be at emergency room level, Sean?
Yeah, man. I didn't have to raise my voice one time. Maybe once. Maybe the early pick I had to raise my voice once. But yeah, man, it was fun. It was fun to watch. It was fun to see what it could be. I know we'll get into, some of the stuff about Dallas and things like that. But just, you got some of these guys here to use them. You use them. It was fun to watch. I had a great time, man. It was, hanging points is always fun. That's why. Yeah, that's why chicks dig the long ball, all the different things about all the different cliches about sports and scoring points, man. It was fun to watch.
Yes, it was. And might we take this opportunity, Sean, to politely, of course, remind all the Cowboys fans that we straight up own them, and they should not forget to send us a Father's Day card next year. Yeah, every year is fine. That works too. Because Cowboys fans, if you're listening, you guys haven't beat us since 1995.
When the Cowboys were a real football team.
I was young. Let's just go with that. Me and Sean were in our heydays back then, and so were the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And yes, we don't play them every year. Right, we play them every 4 years, and I think it's always been that way, Sean. Even back to when we were kids. Hopefully, I don't know, but we don't play them every year. We play them every 8 years at home, but every 4 years, alternating sites. And so, Cowboys fans, I mean, we just own you, and you're just gonna have to live with that, I guess, because. Sorry, I don't know what else to say, dude. Last time you guys came to Denver, I think we won. We put 42 on them again, right? 42-14 or something like that. I was at the game, so I should know. Yeah. Let's look it up, Sean, because this is fun. Broncos Cowboys 20.
You can dump on the Cowboys. It's pretty fun.
42-17. I remember whoever the Cowboys quarterback was. Was it Romo still? It might have been.
I think his last one was the 51-48 with Manning.
Was it? Yeah, I think that was a fat Al for the Cowboys too, wasn't it?
It was.
Whoever the Cowboys had at quarterback that day, he threw like a 99-yard pick six to Talib or somebody. Dude, that was almost 10 years ago now, so pardon me for not remembering, but I do remember being at the game, having a good time, and blowing out the Cowboys. And then here we go again. First quarter, I'm like, we're up 14-3. I'm like, this is the same game that I went to, 8 years ago. And lo and behold, the Broncos just whooped them, Sean.
Yeah.
Just whooped them in every way. So what was before we get into Bo Nix, the third, what was your favorite part of that game?
I love when you can, what the weakness is and you exploit it, and you do what you're supposed to do. Because, there's always, I remember before the Nuggets won their championship, and one of the biggest complaints was always playing down to their competition. And he's like, this team is too good. They should not be losing to these teams, things like that. And I feel like the Broncos have a mix of that sometimes too. It is, this team is not good at X, and you just do Y instead because you feel like doing Y. And it just wasn't that way on Sunday. The way they utilized RJ Harvey, the way they utilized J.K. Dobbins, and used the run game as a run game instead of using something as an extension of a non-existent run game. So they can't defend the run. You ran the ball and look how well, and it changed everything. The looks for Bo, were that much more open. The players that you paid all that money to, the wild card, the joker, whatever you want to call him, you finally get him involved. He's constantly making plays when you get him involved. It was fun to see, man. I love, you hear these names and you have these expectations of them, and then they do nothing. So when you finally see what they can do, I just hope that it's a building block for what we're going to see from an offensive perspective moving forward.
100%. My favorite part of the game was the whole game. So that's where I'm at with that, because it has been so long, Sean, since we have just straight up blown out a team.
Yeah.
Where you knew like a legit team, because we played the Jets and they are way worse than the Cowboys.
Yep.
Reminder of that. And we barely could muster 11 points. So I don't care what the defense looked like. Bo Nix, Sean, was absolutely everything that we advertise him to be as Broncos fans. Everything that we talk about when we say he's definitely better than Jaden Daniels and Drake May, because he has the most touchdowns of that quarterback class, and it's not even close. I think he has 17 more than Jaden Daniels, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Jaden's been hurt a little bit this year, but Bo Nix, 19 of 29, Sean. 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception that looked more like Pat Bryant's fault. I'm going to go with that because I'm not in the huddle. And neither are you, Sean, so we can have fun with this. But it didn't look like – it looked like Nix knew where he wanted to go with the ball. And when you're talking about throwing to a rookie receiver, it just looked like they weren't on the same page. Yeah. But other than that, Sean, absolutely spectacular. Spreading the ball around, getting off of his first read. His footwork was good. His foundation, as Tony Romo annoyingly kept saying, was good, and just spectacular game. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'd speak to the pick first, and this is obviously just an assumption, but my guess is Pat Bryant ran the route that he was supposed to, and Bo Nix thought he was going to sit down based on the coverage. That would 100%. Be my thought, because it was way behind him. Like it wasn't even close. Like that clearly was not like, hey, I'm trying to hit him here on this in or whatever kind of route that they were running, or a dig or whatever it may have been. He clearly threw it like 5 yards behind him, so he thought he was supposed to be somewhere else. But yeah, dude, I mean, the touch pass that he had in the back left corner to Pat Bryant was ridiculous. Literally could not have been any better. The way he lofted, I know it kind of looked funny the way Troy Franklin caught that one on the front of the end zone, but the way he lofted it over the linebacker and dropped it in behind his head, perfect. It was just fantastic, dude. It was fun to watch. If I had, obviously you mentioned the pick. If I had one critique, and I know that it's going to get better as they have more time together, just the deep ball touch, or just like like a yard too deep. I don't know what it is, but that I think it was Mims or maybe it was Franklin early in the game, and he just missed him. And so we're going to get that one. I know it was on the money at the end of last season, so I know it's coming. But if you hit those, I mean, it would have been worse than it was, because they would have scored those early points when we were punting. But yeah, man, ball accuracy was great. And, 247 doesn't necessarily jump off the page, but we ran the ball so effectively that he didn't have to do everything, which is the point. That's the point.
Yes. Very well put there, Sean. And I couldn't agree more. Here's the thing with Bo Nix. His deep ball sometimes is like, what are you doing? And sometimes it's like, oh, man, it's so close. He had him, and he's wide open because Peyton's scheming him open, which we give credit to Sean Payton for. But if Bo Nix just pretended every time he threw the ball like 30 yards or more that there's an end zone there, bro, he is money inside the 30 on those throws to the outside. Like, it is just crazy how good he is at those throws. If you go back to last year, thinking about how many times he made a throw like that, it's, he's just very, very good at that. He's good in the red zone. We're getting better on third down, finally. Granted, I don't want to take anything away because it was the Dallas defense, but it is an NFL defense, and it's not his fault that they can't stay healthy. So he torched them. And again, if you go back to the Jets game, that defense was also atrocious, and we could only score 11 points on them. And I do want to go back to what you were saying earlier about exploiting a weakness on the defense of Dallas when we talk about Sean Payton in just a moment. But Bo Nix, when he's allowed to be Bo Nix, when he's given freedom in the offense, when he's not having to worry about turning the ball over, this is what he is. This is Bo Nix. He is an elite level quarterback that is on the rise. He's not in that upper echelon yet. We've talked about this multiple times. He's not that guy yet. Not Josh Allen. He's not Mahomes. He's not Lamar. But he is getting there, and he looks very good. He looks in control of his offense. And if Sean Payton, before we move on to Sean Payton, I think if he allows Bo to continue to work within this offense and work to Bo's strengths, the Broncos are going to be legit contenders in the AFC. But it's all up to Sean Payton. So, Sean, before we get into your namesake, what are your final thoughts on Mr. Bo Nix, and how much do you love him right now?
It's so nice knowing that you're not going to draft a quarterback again until we're old, like really old. Like, we're old now, but like
I was going to say we're old,
like super old. So it's nice to see. It's nice to see that it's and it's just the beginning. The offense is so young. So you're going to see that just incremental growth with those guys, I think, as he plays with them more. So yeah, I'm super excited. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I know it's early. I know we've seen, the ups and downs, and it's going to be that way this year. So it's a sophomore season. But the things that you see when it's on, exactly what it's going to be. So we know what we're going to progress to on a more regular basis. And I'm super excited to see that come to fruition.
100%, man. And I think I was a little harsh on Bo Nix last year because I can be unrealistic just like any other fan. But I think this year, for the most part, Sean, we said, right, that it's going to be this. It's going to be highs. It's going to be lows. It's going to be bad games. It's going to be great games because he's still a second-year quarterback. And these are the challenges and the frustrations and the highs and the lows that come with a young quarterback. All along, me personally, I don't know if you're new to the show, you won't know this, but I have always blamed Sean Payton because he has not put Bo in a position to succeed, in my opinion, most times. I think that he has, had Bo on the bike with the training wheels a little too much, and he's been too careful with his offense. He's been stubborn with his offense. And I know Sean Payton couldn't care less what this guy has to say, but I do want to say that let's give him his flowers for this game, Sean, because he was in his bag. He was on his game. He was exploiting weaknesses in Dallas and not just saying, okay, well, I'm just going to run what I want to run because I think it's going to work or because I want to make sure that what we worked on all week is shown on the field and that I don't look like an idiot to my team or whatever it is that he might think with that big ego of his. Regardless, Sean, Mr. Payton, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think on the first play of the game, I think I had to look around and make sure I was in the right place when we ran the ball on the first down. I was like, "Oh my god, we're going to run the football today? What is happening?"
He listens to the pod, Sean. He knows that you wanted him to run the ball.
He knew I was going to be super mad.
Yeah.
I mean, it just they can't stop the run. They have their pass rush is non-existent since they traded Micah Parsons. The threat there is so low. You hit them early. You are able to exploit the fact that they have nothing in the secondary because they were injured. But that's the point, right? You start running the ball. Corners and safeties have to do something different. They have to come down in the box to protect the run, and they're already shorthanded, and you're on second and third stringers, so you exploit them over the top and on the edges. Mm-hmm. I mean, exactly what he mentioned it, I think, at halftime too, and talking about knowing that they were injured and doing these things, this and that. So it's nice to know that they always say it's a priority, and for the first time, it looked like it was the priority. So that's the big thing. We always hear like we're going to run the ball more this week, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then you and I come on here, and even though we're winning, we're like complaining about it because it should have been better. Right. And so we finally get to be like, you did what you said you were going to do. It's exactly what you should do. And look at the result. You scored more points. I think what was the differential? I think they showed -9 in the first 3 quarters and like +42 in the fourth.
It's crazy, dude.
So, to score, we scored every quarter and we spread it out. It was exactly what we should be. Sean Payton called a fantastic game. He involved literally everybody. Ingram should have scored. He got close. Pat Bryant gets his first touchdown. He looks like he has flashes of why you were able to let Vele go, which I know you and it was not something that we loved, but he blocks his ass off. And, when he gets the opportunities, he catches the football. So, it was nice to see him get involved. And then obviously Franklin with that connection they have from Oregon, that just seems like that's going to be a long-term thing to see. So, and then Harvey, you proved why we drafted him in the second round. Fantastic game.
Yeah. To go on the Harvey thing, we have been really high on the draft pick, right? And it's like, this guy has all the talent in the world. Where is it? Where is he in the offense? Like, why aren't we getting him the ball? Like, what, And so it was a huge relief to see him score his first NFL touchdown, right? Yeah. And then
first rushing touchdown. I think he had
rushing. Yeah, you're right. He had a receiving touchdown last week.
Yeah.
Wow. It must be my first day. But it was great to see him break one off and just be a huge part of the offense. My fantasy team didn't like it so much because J.K. Dobbins is my running back and he stole 3 touchdowns from J.K. in the last 3 weeks, but that's okay. We'll forgive him for that. But Sean, the talent is there as far as now. I will maintain this until it changes. The Broncos don't have like a game-breaking number 1 receiver. They have Courtland Sutton, who's a very solid, dependable receiver who dropped a touchdown in the end zone, which is a pretty rare thing to see from Courtland Sutton, especially in the end zone. But if they utilize their weapons like this, the other defense is not going to know who to stop. And it's going to be hard for them to, if they spread the ball around and they get everybody involved. These guys as a collective are super dangerous.
Yep.
Like maybe one of the most dangerous offenses in the AFC combined. And it starts with Bo Nix. The offensive line was good. And like you said, the Cowboys, they really don't have anything except maybe an interior presence. That's about it, right? Their linebacker play, the corner play, none of that is good. And the Broncos were able to exploit it. So Sean Payton hats off to him for that, Sean, and for the fact that he got his team ready to play. There was no quote unquote jet lag from the last game. Because we were worried about that, right? It's like, okay, they used all their energy on this Giants comeback. They're probably going to think that they can mess around and be down 20 in the fourth quarter every week. And, who knows if we're going to be able to do that against the Cowboys. And they said, nope, we're going to start fast. We're ready to play, and we're going to put it to you today. And I think it was a nice thing to see a change there, because I know that the Broncos are aware of the things that they are not good at or haven't been good at to this point. And one of them is showing up in the first three quarters, like you just talked about with the point differential. So it was a breath of fresh air for Sean Payton to have these guys ready to play in the first quarter. They never trailed, right? Or did they trail 3-0?
3-0.
They trailed 3-0. Yeah, that's never trailing, in my opinion. And they just straight up dominated an inferior football team. And that's what you want to do when a team like that comes to town. I will say, before we move on, Sean, and get your last thoughts on Sean Payton, how about that defense shutting out Ferguson, the best tight end, the best receiver of the football in the NFL this year? He has the most receptions. He's been the most productive tight end. The Broncos have clear issues covering the tight end, and the Cowboys were like, I think we'll just try to do something else there. Instead, we're not going to throw to our tight end at all.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, but also hats off to the Broncos defense for taking that away from them as well. The pass rush may not have gotten there all the time, but they were putting the pressure on Dak, not necessarily getting the sacks. So what were your thoughts on that, and maybe some final thoughts on Sean Payton before we move on to some more sobering news?
Yeah. So my thing for Sean Payton is, right, like you talk about the slow starts. You receive the football. You know that this could be a shootout. It's one of the highest scoring offenses that you're going up against. So it's like, hey, we may need to score some points here. Let's take the ball. Let's run it down their throat. Let's score, and let's never take our foot off the gas. So I do commend him for that. The game plan was solid. Outside of that interception, the first drive looked good. Your expectation is points there. So yeah, I again, great. I love the aggressiveness. I love the acknowledgement of the things that we haven't been good at, and literally like staring it in the face and attacking it from the snap. So I totally love that. And to your point about Ferguson, and then the leading wide receiver duo from a yardage perspective in the NFL as well. And so, and we always talk about Riley, and being a handsy guy and things like that. That dude gets picked on all the time. And he had to go up against the number one on Sunday. No matter which way you look at it, those dudes are both number ones. Pickens was a one on his, on the Steelers. So Riley had his hands full all day long. The second pass interference call when they were trying to give Dallas points was totally bogus. That was a super weak call, and even they said it on the thing. So he stood up, but you're right too with the pass rush. They don't always have to get there. Obviously we do, and that's fantastic and it's fun. They don't have to get there. Get him off of his spots, get him off of his reads, get him out somewhere else, let Singleton or whoever clean it up. That's more than sufficient. You have the best coverage corner team in the NFL. So they don't have to get the sacks. They did a great job. As advertised. I think we say that pretty much every week when it comes to the defense. These dudes are legit. So, but I know now we have to collectively be sad together. So
before we do that, to your point, not getting to the quarterback all the time, it's unrealistic, number one, to expect the Broncos to always get to the quarterback or to always make the right play. I know there was a play with Hufanga who came in 100 miles an hour and he just missed Dak Prescott. But that's the give and take with Hufanga, right? He's going to play at that speed. He doesn't play at another speed. He's either going to make a great play or something like that's going to happen every now and then, and you just kind of live with it. But to your point, not getting to the quarterback but moving him off his spot is how Dondre Tillman, right?
I think, D apostrophe Andre or something.
Dude, I need to learn our players' names if I'm gonna. I was practicing his name
Oh
earlier
yeah,
today.
I saw him in the flat too, covering somebody out in the flat. I was like, what?
Dondre, yeah, I knew his name. Get off me. Yeah, Dondre Tillman. That's how that stuff happens right there. Because when you look at the replay, it's like, well, who the hell is he throwing the ball to? But it's the Broncos pass rush that moves him off his spot and makes him think he's about to get hit, and he throws the ball in the red zone trying to make a play because he's desperate. And that's the kind of stuff that happens. The Broncos have done that to Mahomes. They've done that to a lot of people. Herbert, they pick him off in the red zone all the time. Like, this is what they do. And so before we get to the defense, one last thing on Sean Payton. I love that Franklin is still involved in the offense even after the fumble against the Jets. They continue to go to him. They continue to show trust in him. And I think that's huge. But anyway, going back to the defense. We're going to have a lot of that in the red zone coming up, Sean, because our boy, the best defensive player in the NFL outside of the other best defensive player in the NFL that's also on our team, Nick Bonito, it looks like he's going to be out. It looks like he is possibly going to go on IR. I'm not going to say anything yet because we haven't received, anything confirmed yet, but they say that he is a candidate to go on IR, right? So with that being said, Sean, he's going to be out at least the next 4 games, right? So you've got my alarm going off. Jeez. Let me get that real quick. Oh boy, good time for that. And the funky music to go with it, Sean.
Yeah, giving everybody your ringtone.
Oh man. Okay, so you've got. Okay, we're good. You've got the Texans in Houston, where we hope nobody's knees get torn up because that's one of the worst fields in the league, right? Just ask Tank Dell and Von Miller. And then after that, we're coming home on a short week to play the absolutely abysmal Las Vegas Raiders, which should be a win with or without Patrick Surtain, right? We should be able to dominate that offense. Their defense is terrible, but it's the Raiders, and they always give us a hard time. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And then after that, we've got the Chiefs, right? Yep. So. And then after that, we go to the Commanders. So at least for those 4 games.
Is it bye after that too?
The bye is after the Chiefs, yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, so I'm assuming that's maybe why they're not putting him on IR, because they have the bye as well.
That would be great. Then he can come back against the Commanders because we're going to need him for that.
I feel like that's probably why they're hesitant to put him on IR, because he's going to get that 4th week anyway. That's just my guess, but
yeah. Now we will have Dre Greenlaw back as long as he does not see another referee before the next game starts. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you don't get tossed before the game yelling at referees.
Yeah. Or outside of the confines of the field. I don't know what he does. I love him for that, though. I really do. Like, you got to defend your teammate. I don't care. Like, you should not be putting your hands on players as a referee. And honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if he was just running his mouth at the ref for trying to steal the game from the Broncos last week against the Giants, because my goodness, those calls. But anyway, going back to the defense and these next 4 games, let's say we don't have him for Washington as well, right? You can tell me if I'm wrong or if you disagree. We're going to see a lot of bend but don't break defense from the Broncos now, because I don't think that Vance trusts his other corners as much, even though they're very good. And we saw Jahdae Barron get his first pick as well. Man, there was a lot of firsts in that game. We saw him get a pick in the middle of the field. I think that the Broncos are as talented as any team in the league, right? We talk about Chris Abrams-Drain. He's going to get his shot now on the outside, you would think, right, with Riley Moss.
Yeah, I think he's the first one up.
Yep. And Jahdae Barron will probably be in that rotation. Then you've got Jaquan McMillan in the middle, in the slot. I think the Broncos are okay. Now, to say that the Broncos are going to be like this super elite shutdown defense without the best player in the world is naive, right? But what do you expect from the Broncos, Sean? And do you think that this defense, as is, without more injuries, is good enough to beat these next 4 teams without Pat Surtain?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're probably going to see more zone, I would think. Obviously, and maybe, I don't think Riley will follow anybody. Maybe he will, but my guess is they would just stay on their sides. They're gonna probably practice with Abrams Drain on one side. I believe he'll be the first man up. But look, when you question why the Broncos would use their first pick to take a corner, well, now it's time for you to prove why you did that, because you don't expect Pat to go down. You don't expect to be out with a player without a player like that, but you have one of the best corners in the draft from this year too, and you don't even hardly play him. So here we go. Let's see why you did it. Vance, you want to be a head coach again? Here's your opportunity, right? And not to say that, Pat Surtain takes us from the best defense in the NFL, and without him, we're not. I still think that we probably are. But, if players are open, then the pass rush has, a little bit less time to get there. And that's just the nature of the beast. But at the same time, I think it's easier for Pat and Riley because the pass rush does get there so quickly. We'll see some more zone. We'll see some different coverages and things like that, just because they're going to have to be creative when you take a player of that caliber out of there. But no, I mean, obviously you'd like to have him for the Chiefs. It really sucks that, we have to kind of limp into that game and you don't necessarily see what you have. I didn't see anything on Zach Allen either. I know at one point he went off the field, so hopefully that's relatively minor too, but would love to have him for the Chiefs game. The Raiders, unless we play a Jets game, don't scare me for anything. They're horrendous. So, which means they'll probably score 40 for some reason, but no, I mean, I think thankfully we're in a stretch where I think we're okay. We're in a good place. And we have the bye coming up, which obviously when you have a late bye like this is good when your team starts to get banged up a little bit. So I think we'll be all right, man. I think we can still get at least 3 of these games.
Yeah, it will hurt to not have him against Kelsey and Rice and all the weapons that Kansas City has, because with Surtain, he's flexible and he has the ability to cover a tight end. He has the ability to cover whoever you need him to cover. And so without him, you lose that flexibility, especially in the red zone. So we'll see how the Broncos adjust. I do think that you make a good point about the pass rush. They're not going to completely go away from man. There will be like third downs and certain scenarios where the Broncos are going to play man and they're just going to say the pass rush is going to get there. But Riley Moss is a good cornerback. I want that to be heard by everybody. The one thing that Riley Moss needs to work on is being in phase. I think you would agree on this, because almost all the time he's not looking for the ball. He's not finding the ball.
Yeah, Pete.
And that's not to say that he's a bad corner. It's an area of improvement for a very talented, very fast, very good cornerback who can be a little handsy. And I think, it's just a matter, Sean, of being a little bit more artsy with your handsiness, right? And not getting caught as much. Maybe being a little bit less obvious, because there are corners who we've seen do this. Aqib Talib used to do this all the time, and he would get away with it, right? Because he was Aqib Talib. But you will see these teams attack Riley for sure in these next 4 games or however long Patrick's going to be out, right? So what are your concerns there, and what are your thoughts overall on Riley Moss? I know the stats are terrific with him, right? But the penalties are just it seems like they're piling up, Sean, on him every week.
Yeah, I mean, he leads the NFL in pass interference calls. So, obviously when you get 2 in back-to-back plays and one of them's garbage, that certainly doesn't help your ability to dig out of that hole. But he gets attacked every week, right? That's the nature of playing against Pat Surtain. So this is just going to be opposite of Pat Surtain. you're used to it. Nothing's going to change now. You just may have to do it against the top receiver instead of the second best receiver. But, we're not playing any of those teams. Rattle the 4 off for me again. Raiders,
Houston, Raiders, Chiefs, Commanders.
Houston's crippled unless Nico comes back this weekend. They're
which is a question mark.
Yeah, with that concussion. So I mean, their top receiver is like their third or fourth receiver. So
and there's 2 rookies, right?
Yeah, that doesn't scare me there. Jacoby Myers has got 1 foot out the door. Commanders, yes, maybe, but Pat could be back then. And obviously the Chiefs, that's going to be you're going to be covering Rashee Rice, and somebody else Jade is probably going to have to chase Worthy up and down the field would be my guess. But, I think he'll be fine. He, like I said, he gets picked on all the time. They throw at him all the time. And so I think based on, I can't remember the statistic that they said, but based on how much he's thrown at, his coverage rate's fantastic. But when you get thrown at that much, unfortunately, there's going to be penalties. It's the NFL. They want to keep the offense on the field. If you're a little handsier than others, you're going to get called. It's just unfortunately how it is. You and I have complained about some of the calls he's gotten all season long. So I do think it's a little unfair. But again, when you're opposite of the best corner in the NFL, it's just par for the course, I guess.
Yeah, the Riley Moss slander has got to stop. I've been hearing this stuff since the Charger game when a perfect throw, like the most perfect throw you can imagine, beat him for the game-winning touchdown with Keenan Allen, right? Like he was there. There's nothing you can do about a great throw like that. You can be on that guy like a blanket, like he was, and it can still get completed because that is a great quarterback that the Chargers have, right?
And Keenan
so
Allen's
people have been like, he got burned for that last touchdown. I'm like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about, okay? Like, you have never played football in your life or coached or, been a student of the game like myself. You, I think, played. Did you play? Yeah, you played, though, right? Played some football. And so those kind of things are just super annoying to see online. And Sean, I have to tell myself every week, and I feel like I say this every week on the podcast, stay out of the comments, Adam. Stay out of the comments. Because when you go in there, you're just going to get pissed off and you're going to reply to somebody and they're going to take a shot at your tiny little podcast that nobody's watching, because that's what they do. That's what they do. No matter what you say, I could say, I respectfully disagree with your opinion that Riley Moss isn't a good cornerback. And I also think you're a handsome fella. And he'd still be like, nobody watches your podcast. You're a loser. You should quit while you're ahead. And by the way, I don't call fellas handsome because I like girls. But anyway, that's just the nature of going into the comments, Sean. And it's very, I don't have time for it. I don't think you go into the comments. I think you're a smart man. Yes.
Yeah, stay out, man. Leave them white corners alone too, man. He's got enough on his plate. Leave that man alone.
So Riley, if you ever see this podcast, because we know the whole team watches this, Sean.
Yeah, man. We love you, dude. You're the man.
Yeah, they're waiting with bated breath to watch this new episode. When you see this, Riley, just know that we got your back. We know that you're a good corner, and we believe that you can carry this defense in the pass defense category until Mr. Surtain comes back. Not to mention Dre Greenlaw being back is going to help in covering linebackers and running backs. Vance Joseph is very good at exotics. He's very good at blitzing. The pass rush is good. I think as long as we don't lose anybody else, we should be fine. Now, if we go 2-2 in these games, Sean, are we still okay, you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tight with the Chiefs. If one of those losses is the Chiefs, that's going to be the issue. It's going to be the division one.
We'll get them on Christmas. I guarantee you.
I mean, you got to take the Raiders game. Has to. You need that divisional win. So if it's going to be a split, you got to at least have the Raider game. And then if you lose the NFC game to the Commanders, whatever. But but who knows? Jaden Daniels can't stay healthy. He may not be there either. So that may be a lot less of a concern when it gets there. So 2-2, I think we're going to be fine. That's what 8-4. I mean,
That's still probably either a game ahead of the Chiefs or tied with the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think 2-2 should hopefully be the worst case scenario here with Pat out.
Yeah. And I think the Texans should be a win. It's a tough place to play for the Broncos historically, but that team is, I mean, their defense is pretty good, but their offense is abysmal. I don't even know what the word is there, Sean, and also beaten to crap, right? Like there's so many injuries at that wide receiver core, and then you've got rookie wideouts from Arizona State. I think they're both from Arizona State on that team. So I think the Broncos should beat Houston. They should beat Vegas. Kansas City is going to be tough. And then I think Washington is also going to be tough, especially if Jaden's back and you've got McLaurin and Debo and Krosky Merritt and all those guys. It should be a good game, but it won't be an easy one. And I think we got the Jags after that too. So it doesn't get any easier from there. But I'm looking forward to it, Sean. The Broncos are looking good. We aren't going to, say the sky is falling because our boy Pat is hurt. It could be worse, right? It could be worse.
Yep.
It could have been a pec muscle tear and he would be out for the season.
Yep.
So that's something that we definitely dodged. We'll have him back for the next Chiefs game, which will be a must win at this point. Are the Chiefs winning tonight, by the way?
It was tied when we jumped on.
With Mariota playing quarterback?
Yeah, well, I think it was 7-7, but I think they may have been driving when we got on.
Oh, well, way to just set me up for nothing there, Sean.
I mean, you said Mariota. I'm not going to get your hopes that high.
That's a good point. Let's see what we got. We got, I don't want to choose a plan. I just want to see the score. What are we talking about here? I don't want you to know my location.
I got you.
Okay, thanks.
Now they're 21-7. No, they just won 28-7. I just reloaded. And the Nuggets are losing. That's dumb.
Who are the Nuggets playing?
Timberwolves.
Dude, why can't we beat them?
We were up 10 earlier. We'll be all right.
Bro, is it at home?
No, it's in Minnesota.
Dude, they straight up dog walk us every single time, and I don't understand. Nuggets, Wolves. Oh, we're only down 5, Sean. Quit overreacting.
Go watch that now.
No, I don't think I can handle my high blood pressure streak ending.
We didn't stress on the Broncos game. Let's get it up.
I know, no. You know what? I just had my 79th birthday, and it's just too stressful sometimes. But I will say, we talked about this for our Nugget listeners. We are very bullish on the Denver Nuggets, Sean. As long as they stay healthy, and I will die on this hill, they will win it all.
Absolutely.
Sean.
Stamp it.
Stamp it. Take it to the bank. I think Adelman is a great coach. He's a great fit for the Nuggets. He knows how to utilize all of his players. He has a great feel for everybody's role. I think the players love him, and obviously the Nuggets are absolutely stacked. So if they stay healthy,
Gordon's on a mission.
Mission for Gordon. You've got playoff Murray waiting in the wings.
A real
Cam Johnson. Yeah, Cam Johnson's gonna make it rain. You got Valanciunas as your backup center. Dude, bro, that is unbelievable depth for the Nuggets now. So anyway, we are high on the Nuggets. Tune into our Nuggets podcast. Just kidding. We don't have one. We don't have time for that, Sean.
We'll guest sometime. They'll let us know.
Yeah, we'll be a guest. And I will talk about spacing the floor and have no idea what I'm talking about, Sean, but you might.
That's what I played. I didn't play football. I played basketball.
Oh, you played basketball. Okay, so you know the sport. But anyway, everyone, I want to thank you for tuning into the Bronc Bros podcast. This was a fun one, Sean.
Yeah, man. Let's do this again next week. Let's not do that other stuff. Yeah,
let's not do the Sean Payton needs to pack his bags and Bo Nix is terrible. That's not us, but like the Sean Payton thing is, but not the Bo Nix.
Let's keep this train rolling.
Yeah, why aren't we handing the ball to Harvey and Dobbins? let's just hand the ball to Harvey and Dobbins and let them do their thing. By the way, Dobbins is 100% re-signing. He loves it here.
Yeah.
Loves it here. And JK, when you watch this along with your teammates in the film room tomorrow, just know
we want you to.
We're ready for you to resign. Sean, it's been a blast. Everyone, you can find us at BroncBros_ on Instagram, at BroncBros on YouTube. I think we're on X. I don't know, Sean. We're not very good at this thing right now, but we're trying to grow it. I think Steve might manage a BroncBros
just
page
a couple
on
Broncos
X.
fans talking about Broncos, man. We'll let Destiny bring the rest of it to us.
Yeah, y'all will come eventually. Y'all will come. My handle is not Mile Jaimez, but it's a work in progress. Where Sean is.
It'll be there next week.
Sean's got some ideas for me that some of them I don't like, but we'll see what we got there. But thank you for following us. Follow Sean somewhere because his handle's not up here. Just follow him
right here. I'll be right here
to the store or something. I don't
know. Come on down to Houston, man. I'll see you at the game next weekend.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be at the game. Well, make sure you sit with a lot of Broncos fans because it'll probably be like 60% Broncos fans.
Oh, it was last time I was here, man. Orange and blue, baby. Let's go.
Perfect. Bronc Bros and sisters, thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week after hopefully another Broncos win against the Houston Texans. We'll talk to you then. Go Broncos.
See ya.
Bye.